selecting ammo and buying your first handgun. If you're looking to buying your first handgun, or perhaps you just bought one and now are looking to see what type of ammo you should use, you've come to the right place. In this video, we're going to discuss a couple of things. One of them is we're going to be talking about the types of ammo that may be available for your pistol. The second thing is maybe a good platform to start with. And the last thing is what I'd carry every day, or at least one of my everyday carries, and what's worked well for me. Now, we're going to go ahead and start it with the terminology of a cartridge. And we're going to be talking about a round that is probably as versatile as it is popular, as it is powerful, and that's the .357 Magnum. Now, the .357 Magnum can be used for a variety of different purposes, for target, for hunting, for self-defense, and even out of longer-barreled carbines or longer-barreled rifles, the .357 bullet can reach velocities and power that nips at the heels of rifles like .30-30, much older loads, but nonetheless a rifle like a .30-30. But more on that later. So this is the case, and they have brass, nickel, and steel. This one specifically is in brass. However, this one is in nickel. Now, the steel versions are a little bit lower quality. They're considered sometimes a safety hazard by range officers or by range owners. If I can remember, almost every range that I've ever been to has only allowed me to shoot anything above steel, so brass or nickel. But steel is usually a no-go. And according to range officers and just range owners, oftentimes they can cause fires. So that's just something to keep in mind as you're looking for ammo. Just because you found that steel ammo doesn't mean that you should get it. But I'm sure there are other people out there who would say otherwise. And if it works for them and they can shoot it out of their pistol, shoot it at their range, and all power to them. The first thing that we have here is not only the case, but the primer. This is what's going to get hit so that the powder inside of the casing can ignite, which is then going to project the projectile, otherwise known as the bullet. Now, if you're looking for ammo, you have to think about a couple different questions. But the primary question is, what is the context? What do you need it for? Some bullets are much better for hunting than they are for target practice. Some bullets are much better for target practice than they are for self-defense. So you have to be asking yourself questions like, what am I carrying? What is the intended target? And what is the range that I'm looking at? And in addition, what kind of recoil am I looking for? Nowadays, it probably comes down to a couple things. Actually, one thing. It's what ammo can I find and how much am I going to pay for it? During the pandemic, ammo is skyrocketing. Ammo prices are skyrocketing. And unfortunately, ammo selection is very scarce. So sometimes it's what you can find for the price that you're going to get it at and how enjoyable the shooting experience is going to be. So one of the reasons why I like .357 Magnum so much, especially as a platform or as a bullet for a platform that you're starting out with, is because .357 Magnum can also shoot .38 Special. The .357 Magnum here, and here's .38 Special here. As you can see, .38 Special and .357 Magnum are very similar except for one thing, and that is the casing. The diameters are about the same, but the casing is slightly longer. As a result, you actually will get a lot more power out of the .357 than the .38 Special, which can be great for two different reasons. The first one is that if you are new to shooting, sometimes starting out with .38 Special is nice, right? It's less recoil. It may help you become or feel more accurate, help you gain that confidence that you need. .357, though, on the other hand, is a very strong round, a very powerful round, and is great for self-defense. Both ultimately, right, have been used for self-defense for the last more or less 100 or so years. And so both are great cartridges for self-defense, but sometimes you want a little bit more power for the threat that you may perceive or for the target that you're shooting at. And so the .357 Magnum is definitely going to do your job. So in .357 Magnum and .38 Special, there are several types of ammo. And what I mean by that are, there are plus P, which means overpressurized. There's FMJ, which is full metal jacket. There's soft point, and then there's hollow point. Overpressurized. For overpressurized typically means that you will get an increase in velocity and you will get an increase in power or energy, usually though at the expense of felt recoil. So what that means is that your gun say it's your intended gun is in .38 Special. It shoots .38 Specials. You have to make sure and check that it can shoot plus P, or that the manufacturer recommends plus P, because different guns are built differently. However, plus P usually means that it's like .38 Special, but it's pressurized more so that you can get more power, a little bit more power, and a little bit more velocity, but usually at the expense of a little bit more recoil. Now, the next one is Full Metal Jacket, and this is the one that you'll find most likely at any of your ranges, any of your local gun shops, Academy, Walmart, any of your sporting goods stores. This Full Metal Jacket has a thin coat or a thin metal alloy, and what happens is allows the air, wind passing over through the bullet, to go right over it almost aerodynamically. As a result, your FMJ bullet is much more likely to penetrate deeper than your round such as a soft point or a hollow point. But as a result, it also moves in faster velocities. So as a result, you do get greater penetration, and greater penetration doesn't necessarily mean as a positive thing. So if you live in a city, if you're living close to other people, if you are in a house with other people as well, with other family members, sometimes Full Metal Jacket can pass through the body because the bullet is moving at such a fast rate that it'll go right through, and it could potentially go through a wall and end up hurting someone that you do not intend to hurt. So Full Metal Jacket has its purposes for different reasons, but I would say for self-defense or for home defense, I would stick to something that is like a hollow point. Now, why is a hollow point called a hollow point? Well, as you see here, this bullet looks a little different from this bullet. This bullet here has the full-on, Full Metal Jacket has the full-on point. However, this one has an indentation here, where the point is hollowed out, and this one is replaced specifically with, I believe, is like some sort of rubber FTX technology. But essentially, a hollow point mushrooms out so that the bullet, as it's passing through, will catch onto soft tissues and stay in the body. Whereas Full Metal Jacket will go right through. The next one is soft point. Now, soft points allow you to, because the round is exposed with this lead, with this bullet lead, it'll impact much more easily into soft tissue. So it's almost kind of like a middle ground between the hollow point and the Full Metal Jacket. It won't expand as much as a hollow point, but it also won't go through as much as a Full Metal Jacket. Now, for most people, this really doesn't matter. If you're out in the range, you can shoot Full Metal Jacket, you can shoot semi-jacket, a soft point. I wouldn't recommend shooting hollow points just because they're so expensive. A round of 25 cartridges, around like this is from Critical Hornady, Critical Defense. Something like this might cost anywhere between 25 to 30 bucks for 25, at least last current prices. Whereas a box of 50 might also cost 25 bucks for a box of 50. So you definitely want to shoot Full Metal Jacket and semi-jacket to just shoot your cheaper ammo. However, there are people who say shoot with what you carry. So every now and then you might want to practice with what you carry. And if you're carrying a 357 Magnum or a 30 Special with something that is like a plus P load or a hollow point load, then shoot with what you carry so you can get more comfortable with the felt recoil and the dynamics of the bullet. If you like this channel, feel free to hit like on the video and subscribe. If you have a question, if you want to leave a comment, feel free to leave a comment, ask a question, and always remember, knowledge is power, precision is practice. Keep your friends close and your grouping closer.